I don't know what they do. Can we not put our hands on the plow and not look back? You got something better than a car, right? To gain. Praise God. Working acceptably, working faithfully. And thirdly is working urgently. Let's go back to John chapter 9. This is the third one, working urgently. This is a story about Jesus passing the blind man. Won't go into that story, but I'll just read verse 4. John chapter 9, verse 4. This is what Jesus said. All these three things I mentioned are the sayings of Jesus, alright? Jesus said this, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night comes when no man can work. So notice the imperative, the compulsion. It's something that he could not help doing. I must do the works of him that sent me. And that's because he sent. We talked a little bit about the sense of being sent yesterday. There are two New Testament metaphors for men on mission. We must see ourselves as men and women who are on a mission. We are not on vacation. It's okay to wear a vacation shirt. This Hawaii shirt, right? You know, you feel like vacation. It's okay to wear a vacation shirt and be on mission. But we're not on vacation, we're on mission. The first metaphor is that of an ambassador. The second is soldier. One is political, one is military. Let's briefly look at them. So the first one is in 2 Corinthians 5. Keep your finger there in John 9 so that we can return quickly to it. 2 Corinthians 5. We have in verse 20, now then we are ambassadors for Christ, as though God did beseech you by us. So we are ambassadors. And you know that ambassador, as we noted yesterday, the word apostello for sent, being sent once, the essential meaning is to be sent as an emissary or an envoy. Right? Which means you are there not on your own time, own money, own agenda. You don't say anything that you want. You represent your country or your government. And we as Christians are representing Christ in a world of which we're not citizens. Sorry, if you've got it wrong, your citizenship has changed. You are no longer citizens of the world. You're citizens of heaven. But you're in the world now, but not of it. So in that sense, you must be worldly Christians. There's a book written about Puritans. They are worldly Christians. In other words, they are firmly in the world, but they represent the heavenly realm. We should not be world-class Christians in the wrong sense. You know, there's a snare in trying to be world-class because you get worldly. That's one of the great dangers. But this is what it says. We are to be ambassadors for Christ. To represent Christ to the Christless ones. So they who do not belong can in turn come into this citizenship of heaven. So you're an ambassador. That's what it means to be on mission. Second metaphor is in 2 Timothy chapter 2. That's, you're a soldier of Christ, right? 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 3 and 4. Therefore thou endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. No man that wars entangles himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who may choose him to be a soldier. So, you know, again a soldier, there's nobody who needs to be more mission-minded than the soldier, as well as the commander in the military. Now, whether you are giving orders as a commander or you are receiving orders as soldiers in the platoon, the mission must be very clear. And the whole idea here is that everything else is subordinated to the accomplishment of the mission. You just don't do anything else until the mission is accomplished. That's what a soldier is. And there are two elements here. One is endurance, verse 3, and 2, is encumbrance. You don't get entangled with things. Endurance. It's not an easy life. Maybe sufferings in the way. And you know, one of the things that is very easy to do is to be lazy in the ministry. Especially if you're on your own. But you're not. You're doing God's work and you're accountable to God. And that's the greatest test. When nobody else is watching, what are you doing in the eyes of God? It's so easy to be lazy, but you need to give yourself fully. What time did you get up this morning? What did it cost you to come here? I got up at 5, that's not too bad. I normally get up every other day at 5:30. I left my home at 8:30 to take a bus here to give ample time, and I came here at 9:30 for 10 o'clock. It's good not just to be on time, but to be well ahead of time in the place. Why? Because you're here to meet God. How many of you would come on the dot if you were to make an appointment to meet the Prime Minister? This is Prime Minister's rally. Oh, no way, no way. The gates will be shut an hour before, at least. Endurance as well as encumbrance. Encumbrance means the things that you carry, you know, the load. And you know the soldiers, they carry heavy loads. But you don't carry anything unnecessary. So you discard everything that is unnecessary. You carry what is necessary. Even water. You know, I remember, water is most priceless, but when we are running the 10-kilometer run, you make sure you drink enough water. Once we started off, we emptied the water bottles because it's lighter, you know, we're lazy. But we make sure we last the race. Encumbrance. But you know, sometimes encumbrance is not the big heavy loads that you carry. It's not a big backpack, not all those things that you carry. I tell you what can be an encumbrance. If you are a soldier trekking up the mountains, sometimes the most nagging encumbrance is just a grain of sand in your boot. That's all it takes. You can stop the whole company. You know, if you are the point man, so I really need to stop. There's this grain of this pebble, you know, in my boot, and you spend 5 minutes taking out all the thing, take it out and then put it back. And the whole company is behind you waiting. That can be an encumbrance. I tell you, beloved, a lot of you are taking on yourself encumbrances you have no business to do.